get my 1 out of my 5 coaches to come on up here. Yeah, I get to stand up. I talked about, both levels of coaching that we have and how blessed we are. But the 2 guys that are actually here with me tonight, I would not do this job without them. In other words, if either one of them came to me tomorrow and said, hey, I got my 2 young kids, I got to devote a little bit more time to them, I'm not going to coach anymore, and to be honest with you, I'm going to go right with them, because without either one of these guys, this job can be long and a little rough at times, and they take a big load off it. Basically, my assistant head coach, I call him Seth Relock. I can't thank you enough for what you do, but you keep doing it so I can stick around a little longer. That's for you. And then Greg Gonzalez, who pretty much takes my wrath on a daily basis, does whatever I ask him to do, whatever I tell him to do. And he deals with my moods, he deals with, he takes me for what I am, and I appreciate all of what he does for me. And a big part of our field looking the way it does is the help that this guy gives me. So Greg, I want to thank you. Andy Leonard has been with me. Well, Andy and I have known each other since we were 9 years old. He's not here tonight. I obviously appreciate everything he does. Our outfield coach played for me. He was in this room 9 years ago, getting ready to play Berkeley, as a matter of fact. So it's kind of a unique little deal. And he's been a pleasure to have. He's obviously bringing a lot of college stuff to these kids that they wouldn't get without him. So I do appreciate everything that Jordan Mullins does for us as well. We're just going to call everybody up here one at a time in alphabetical order. Some guys I'll touch on a little bit more than others, but we'll catch up as the night goes on. You're going to hand them all that. I'm doing a shake of the hand deal. Just give me a name. All right, our first guy, and I had a conversation with him at LMC in the parking lot during a fall game. And, well, we're not doing too well when I'm already crying on the first guy. But anyways, I had a conversation with him in the parking lot, and he had got roughed up a little bit, walked a few guys, and I could see that, his demeanor was down a little bit. So I went up to him, and I did something I never did before. I told him, no matter what he does in tryouts, he was going to be part of our team. And I appreciate everything he's done, because he hasn't played hardly at all year. Keeps coming to practice. He gets everything ready for us. He works with Seth in pregame. He's constantly doing whatever we ask him to do. And he's a great kid, and he's Max Alers. And he looks good in a team fight brawl. I mean, look how big he is. The thing about kids like Max that we've coached before, that leave here with not a lot of playing time, don't be surprised when you hear his name at the next level, because he's going to continue to play. Okay. That one's a junior outfielder. Again, didn't get a lot of playing time. Again, I did everything we asked him to do. He's a late inning defensive replacement for us right now. He serves a really big role when we're kind of juggling pitchers around. And, we're hoping for good things out of him next year. That's Nico Basa. Next guy's a senior, an outfielder for us. Pretty quiet kid. Not as quiet as another kid that we'll mention here in a minute. But this guy gets it done in the classroom, gets it done on the field. He's got aspirations. He's going to be some kind of biochem. I don't even know what he's going to be, but I couldn't pronounce it, so I knew it had to be pretty good. He was also voted amongst our BVL coaches as our Sportsman Award winner this year in our league. He probably didn't get as much playing time as he'd like, but he, again, fills a huge role for us because there's a sigh of relief when I put him in the outfield, knowing that pretty much when the ball goes up, he's going to find a way to go get it for us, and that's Caleb Bauer. Next guy, again, following the alphabetical order because I wouldn't know where to start with this one. He's a left-hander in a right-hander's body. I said that for years now. Started out a little rocky early on the mound. We had high hopes that he was going to come out and duplicate what he did last year. He had a little injury during the summer and a little tentative getting past that. And we had a kind of a reckoning after the Clayton Valley game, and I don't know if it was just something he decided that he was going to do or not, but the next outing he came out and he showed. And he's been doing it pretty much every game since then, and he's been a huge part of our success. And right now, with one of our guys going down, he's been the ace of our staff, and I can't thank him enough. That's Walker Brinkman. Next guy isn't here. Kind of a unique situation. We cut him. We literally only had 2 cuts this year. It was really, really hard to kind of let go with guys. Oh, my bad. I'm not done with you. I'll see you in a minute. And after with all the rain, we ended up having to do the tryouts in the gym, and this kid comes over literally right after I talked to him and told him that he wasn't going to be on the team, and asked to be the manager. All right, kind of thought of it for a second. And in the past, we've had guys that just want to be bullpen catchers, but it always seems to turn out to be a little bit more than that. And so I decided, hey, you know what, let's give this a shot. And he came to every practice, every game, came out on Saturdays and got a chance to hit with the guys, pretty much did everything we asked. We even got him assistant about a quarter of the way into the season, so he had his own little assistant manager. Don't worry, Daniel, it's a good thing. And so I do appreciate everything he did, and again, that was pretty tough to do for a kid to come out in his senior year and watch his buddies play the whole time and knowing that he was never going to be there, but I thank Joey Chatburn. All right, next guy's a senior, been with me for 3 years. Again, I'm not going to go too much detail, but I am going to talk about his stubborn streak for a second here. Kid came to us with all kinds of talent, just like 90% of the kids that we get. We saw his swing and we knew there had to be a change. But how do you tell a kid who's had success all his life, you need to change your swing? And no matter what the circumstances were, he was going to do it his way, right? And he did it his way. And he struggled and struggled. And then he figured out that he needed to make the change. He figured it out. He made the change. And he's been our best hitter, pretty much the last half of last year and pretty much all of this year, right up there with Gio. But I can't say enough about this kid, and he's just filled so many roles for us over the last 3 years. I'm definitely going to miss him, Jay Cosgrove. We have this group of 4. Started in July. Can you open the week? Yeah, okay, I'll get down there. 5:30, 5 o'clock. Can we get here earlier? These 4 guys, you'll see pictures of them in the video because they're always together. And so I call him one of the Fab 4, privately, not to his face, because I don't really want to pump his head up any more than he already is. But he struggled in the beginning of the year. It was in our second spot, struggled a little bit, but constantly was trying to figure out how to get better. And we had a conversation about, look, we're getting ready to go in the league. I told him, look, draw a line in the sand. Forget about what we've already done. We can't change it anyways. Let's go forward and go out and get yourself something in league. And he went on to hit over 400 in league. He's been a big part of what we've done here for 3 years, and that's Noah Daubin. All right, here's a number 2 out of the 4, actually number 3 since Jake was number 1. Our shortstop. I don't know how many of you have watched some of our games or just watched this kid play. What he can do with a glove is unteachable. And his dad's probably going to take credit for it, but I'll tell you what, this kid's got natural skills that I haven't seen in a long, long time. This year, he came out and, well, let me back up. Last year, pretty much every other practice, he had a different swing. He was, try, I'm going to step forward, this one I'm going to go back, I'm going to hold my hands here or there. Every day was different. And the results were like this. This year, he came out committed, stuck with it, and was just keep our greatest hitter right out of the gate. I mean, we had him hitting in the 4 spot, and the guy's this tall. That just means you have room for growth. Don't worry about it. Okay? But he hit everything hard. All his outs were hit hard. It was ridiculous how hot this kid was. And still is. I mean, he's had a couple peaks here and there, but he's hit the ball solid for us all year long. And he's played a shortstop that we've never seen and probably won't see again for a long, long time, and that's Gio Diaz. All right, this next guy, again, our 2 pitchers, they're 2 peas in a pod for sure. Tyler Franks, who had a great year last year, started out great this year and had a little bit of a soreness, and we're kind of now just kind of getting him back into the fold. And had a conversation with his dad, I remember at Banner Island, hey, make him hit. But we tried for weeks to get him to take batting practice. Wouldn't do it. Just, he's out there taking fly balls, throwing, playing catch with Walker. Him and Walker have his own little private practice some days. And so finally we said to him, hey, look, there was a Saturday practice where we let all the pitchers hit, and we threw him in there, and we decided, hey, we're going to throw him in the lineup and see what happens. And little bit, we gained a great outfielder out of it and a pretty good hitter too, and that's kind of where we're sitting right now. We're hoping we can get a little more out of his right arm in the next couple of weeks on the mound, but I can't thank enough of the service that he's put in for us the last few years, and that's Tyler Franks. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go off chart here. Daniel, come on up here, son. All right, so Seth and I were at practice. We were just getting ready to go into the break, and we were getting ready to go into the little kid camp that we run during the break. And this gentleman walks up to us and says, I want to try out for baseball. Okay, a little late. We're 3 weeks into the season. And I remember the conversation pretty clearly, and I know Seth does too. And so we asked him, well, are you any good? No coach is going to toss a good player out without even asking him at least that question. He says, oh, okay. And he goes, I want to try out for pinch runner. So I knew he had played football, and I'm thinking, wide receiver, pinch runner, he's pretty fast. We got a few of those guys, could always use a few more. Hey, are you fast? Not really. So we gave him his 3 days of tryouts, and pretty much after the first 30 seconds, we knew that he was going to be our assistant manager, and I can't thank him enough. All right, this guy's got probably one of the cooler nicknames that Seth handed this guy. Lip, go ahead and start making your way up here. I call him Lefty. I screw up his name half the time, just like I do Nabis, Nabis, and all the other names I screw up. But this guy, again, he's a senior. He was on JV last year, and that was probably a mistake on my part because he's really filled in some big innings for us, and we still have a few games left. And I know he's kind of been waiting his turn. And trust me, Saturday's coming quick here, and we're going to pretty much need everybody. But I can't thank him enough for what he's done, and lightens up the practice. And don't ever let him hit on practice these. That's not very good. We watched a little of that today. But what he does on the mound is pretty solid, and he's another kid that I'm going to miss. Zach Hanson. All right, this one here, this is by far the most quietest kid I've ever met in my life. I'm sure he talks to his parents. I know I see his lips moving every once in a while, but I never hear anything come out of his mouth. He's a kid that came to us with a lot of talent. In fact, we had kind of brought him up last year to kind of get a look-see to see if we needed an extra pitcher in the boards tournament where we had to play a bunch of games in a few days. It didn't work out. He didn't get in there. And so this year during the tryout, you know, with Gio and some of the other infielders we had, we kind of knew that Jacob was going to be, you know, more of a pitching guy for us. And even with then, you know, he kind of fell down the pecking order a little bit. And, you know, to his credit, you know, he asked us what he needed to do. And, you know, we